So I'm going to go through a couple of tips for using the OR portal, and you should see the OR portal now. This is where the Office of Research houses our kind of homegrown systems. And so you can see that there are funding opportunities, there's the IRB, conflict of interest, and then funding proposals. What I'll be focusing on is the funding opportunities piece right here. The funding proposals piece this is if you have already decided to submit a proposal or you are negotiating a contract. This is what has taken place of our CERT form, which used to be in Adobe and Excel, and now we have transitioned it to an online portal. But I'm going to focus right over here on the funding opportunities. So we have Pivot, which is our database that we have a license to and that has all of the opportunities available from basically across the world. And it is a great resource, and this is not meant to replace it, but this is for some other areas that we have to do some more specifications for UTD. So if you'll notice, there are some menu items right here. There are also menu items up the top that are the exact same thing. So whichever you're comfortable with, you can use. So I'm just going to click on all opportunities, which takes us to everything that is in the portal. And you can filter it by two different types. So the type is the type of application. So if it's just a regular run-of-the-mill NSF proposal, like right here, or if you wanted to limit it to the limited submissions or the internal funding, which is our seed grants that Dr. LaMotta talked about earlier. You can also limit it by the audience. So if you are a grad student or a postdoc or a young investigator, then you can limit it that way as well. So we're going to use this one as our example. So as you can see, the audience right here is for faculty. This one down here is for a postdoc, but this will tell you who the sponsor is. And if you click on the external link, it takes you to the actual solicitation opportunity. If we go back, we can see that it gives you a kind of a snapshot right here, but if you click on view opportunity details, it takes you into much more. Now, obviously, this does not include the entire solicitation, but we try and include the information that will help you determine if it's something that is of interest to you. We'll also add any types of eligibility requirements, like if you have to be an assistant professor, that would be listed here. Or if you have to, have so many days past your, or so many years past your PhD, we can do that. So I'm going to go back to the opportunities. And then here's the deadline. And this is the sponsor deadline. And this one is due in December, yet they've already come out with it. So that's fabulous. What we'll go to next is the limited submission. So limited submissions are opportunities that have a limit on how many proposals can be submitted by the university. This is not by the faculty member, this is by the university. So in this case, this one is the NRT program from NSF. And you can see now there are two deadlines listed here. So the first one is the internal deadline, and this is the one that you need to pay attention to because you have to submit your letter of intent to be one of our applicants by this deadline. The sponsor deadline is the external deadline. So that one will matter if you are selected as our person who is the selected individual, which as you can see on this one, the deadline is already passed and we did have one person apply and so she was already selected, but we can't have another one. We only got one applicant and sometimes we just don't have anybody else who's interested in it. This is a fairly large program, so it makes sense that we would only have one. If you do, however, have one, we're going to use this next one as the example. This one had the deadline passed, but nobody applied for it. If you find one like that where you're like, I like this, but I missed the internal deadline, you can still contact me and we can see if you have the time to do it and if it fits in with the mission of the university, and then we can just go ahead and modify this and select you as the applicant. But just contact me if the opportunity has passed. So these are the limited submissions. So now let's go to the seed grants, which is the internal funding option. And so the CentIQ has already passed. So the deadline has already passed and you can see that 11 people have applied. Once we select the awardees, they'll be listed underneath just like we had on the other one where it said selected Dr. Thrasingham. So I'm going to scroll down to one that has not passed yet. And that will be the Texas one, which is due on March 31st. So if you notice, a new button hasn't appeared, and that's the apply button. So if you click on that, it's the same for the limited submission. It will have you, it's going to have me log in. Hang on. We will log in, and then it takes you to the actual piece where you have to include your information. So you put your title, you change it to whatever school you're in. This is where you can put a short abstract, and then you can actually drop your file in here, which is your actual letter of intent, which should not be more than 2 pages. And then your name will be here as the principal investigator, and then you just hit submit, and that puts it in my queue. And then the system will send me an email the next day after the deadline. So on April 1st, I'm going to get an email saying I need to select a winner for this program. And then I'll log in and we will notify you if you are the winner. But it works the same for the limited submission. It's the same kind of input right here where you would put the same type of information in. So the last thing I wanted to show you on the opportunities is the audience. So the young investigators are the people. What we identify as a young investigator is anyone who is an assistant professor or who has where the solicitation has a limit on what your role is, or there's so many years past your PhD, or a certain age group. Like I saw one today that was anybody who was under 38 years old. That'll generally be a young investigator. And so the portal is geared towards young investigators because we want to give them as many opportunities to get their research off the ground and provide them with all types of opportunities to submit, whether it be foundation, not necessarily to go for like an NIH R01 at the first step. And so there are a lot more opportunities in here for young investigators than there are for any type of like mid-career faculty. But you can filter by that, and as you'll see, this one is listed for faculty and young investigators, so there can be multiple ones on there. And so the portal, while it's not meant to replace Pivot, it can have some things in it that Pivot doesn't have. Like we get, as the central office, we have a lot of foundations or companies that send us announcements directly to us. And if I feel it's broadly disseminable, then I'll send it out through my PI listserv. But if it's not, then we'll put it in the portal in the hopes that somebody will see it. And so you should check out the portal just because there might be things in there that aren't necessarily available on Pivot. And it's just another resource you can use. It also might help you if you just want to search the limited submissions. You might see something that's of interest to you. You never know what you'll find.